Right now, from KTAB News, your local election headquarters, this is Big Country Politics.
Thanks for being here for Big Country Politics. I'm Marley Capper, and happy 4th of July. On this day, 245 years ago, America seceded from Great Britain and became the United States. And if you're thinking of heading to the Abilene State Park today to celebrate, KTAB's Miriam Chamberlain has tips for the holiday.
Many families have traveled from all over the big country, Minnesota, and even Albuquerque, New Mexico, visiting Abilene's State Park.
This is just one of those things that we get to do to get out of the house for a little bit.
And for local 87-year-old Bessie Lamb, she's been coming here since the age of 12.
It was a fun time and lots of people that I still remember, but they're all gone. But anyway, memories is all I've got left.
But she tells us she's now able to make new memories back at the state pool with her great-granddaughters.
I don't get to come out here unless some of the little ones are coming. So it gets me out of the house.
Come and take you on a little trip.
I have enjoyed it so much.
Swimming pools and the great outdoors is what the Abilene State Park has to offer. And Ryan Hunter with the park says it's been an outlet for people throughout the pandemic.
We have been incredibly busy selling out all of our campsites, lots of people coming out for day use throughout the whole thing.
While still enforcing certain COVID safety protocols, especially for the pool, in preparation for by far their busiest month, July.
Alcohol and water don't really mix, so we want people to be safe. We don't want to work any drownings. We want everyone to have a safe, healthy, happy 4th of July weekend and celebrate safely.
They will be limiting the sale of pool tickets and will have 2 separate swimming sessions in the early and late afternoon to accommodate those restrictions.
We're really hoping that everyone has a good time but does it safely.
In Abilene, what coverage you can count on. Miriam Chamberlain, KTAB News.
Thank you, Miriam. The Abilene State Park does encourage people to buy the limited pool tickets ahead of time. And for those who plan to visit the park this weekend, for their full schedule, go ahead and head over to our website, bigcountryhomepage.com. And turning our eye to Texas, the 3 U.S. congressmen representing the big country and the heartland were part of a meeting at Weslaco today, talking about the crisis on the border with President Donald Trump and Governor Greg Abbott. This comes after the governor declaring the recent surge of migrants a border disaster and vowing to continue building former President Trump's border wall. KTAB's Washington Bureau correspondent Aaron Warnke picks up today's story.
What a pleasure it is to have President Trump back in the great state of Texas.
Former President Donald Trump sat down with state and law enforcement officials in Weslaco on Wednesday to hear what's been happening at the border since he left office.
Things have changed so quickly and so dramatically under the Biden administration. It has been amazing and disastrous.
Governor Abbott says the surge of migrants has forced Texas to allocate more than $1 billion for border security.
And then after that, they added an additional $250 million for Texas to begin building our own border wall to keep Texas safe.
When you get right down to it, the wall really worked.
Trump criticized the Biden administration for reversing policies he put into place, like Remain in Mexico and pandemic restrictions, as well as halting construction of the border wall.
I mean, the real question is, do they really want open borders? Or are they incompetent?
This former president really is always up for a photo op.
Back on Capitol Hill, Democrats, including Iowa Congresswoman Cynthia Axne, say the entire trip is a publicity stunt for Republicans.
To address immigration issues with political ploys and photo ops is absolutely the wrong way to go about it.
Trump and a group of Republican lawmakers also toured a part of the border wall where Governor Abbott says construction will resume. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnke, KTAB News.
Thank you, Anna. Congressman Jody Arrington, August Pfluger, and Ronnie Jackson had front row seats for the discussion earlier this week, emphasizing what has been happening on the border, and it is indeed a crisis affecting all of us in West Texas. And when we come back here on Big Country Politics, a conversation with County Judge Bolls. We're back in 2 minutes.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
As crime rates and family disputes have gone up over the years, the need for court-appointed attorneys have also gone up. They're attorneys who the city provides for people who are guaranteed representation but cannot afford it. Currently, Taylor County is having a shortage, and earlier this week, we met with Taylor County Judge Bolls to find out why.
Court-appointed attorneys basically are put in place for people who can't afford an attorney. They are paid by the county using taxpayer dollars. By law, the paying for court-appointed attorneys comes out of the general fund. They are appointed to represent the person as they go through the legal process. So that's basically what they do. The same thing a paid attorney would do, but in this case, the people that they handle are generally the poor and needy, those who don't have any money to pay an attorney, and so they can apply to the court to have a court-appointed attorney appointed.
So how important is having, a court-appointed attorney in this process?
Sorry. Well, it's obviously very important. A person is entitled to representation when they go through a court proceeding. Anytime they're in trouble and have to go to court, it's a good thing to have an attorney to help you walk through the process. Some people serve as their own attorneys. That's a choice they make. But the attorneys are put there, and we appoint an attorney if the person has a need for an attorney and cannot afford an attorney.
So when did you guys know that you guys were kind of lacking enough attorneys?
Well, I think it's probably been in the last couple of years that we started to hear we might be having a shortage of attorneys. We've known all along that back in 2015 or so, we had a huge escalation in CPS cases. We started, and that was an outgrowth of the drug problems we were having in the community at the time. These children in these homes are starting to test positive for exposure to methamphetamine and drugs like that. So as you go through a process in the family court, everybody who's involved in that is entitled to an attorney as you go through that process. That's by law in the state of Texas. So that's when we started really to start seeing a need for more court-appointed attorneys. What has happened over time, of course, with the COVID epidemic and things such as that, the demand for those court-appointed attorneys, just in terms of the caseload that they've got, and also just the availability of them, has dramatically increased. And with so many people going through the court system now, the courts are back open and things such as that. So these court-appointed attorneys are representing cases in probably, could be 5 or 6 courts that they're doing.
Is there any, thing that's coinciding with the lack of jail staff and maybe prosecution, through the DA office or any sort of thing like that?
I will tell you that we have had expressed to me, as the chief budget officer for the county, I have heard from the county, from the district judges who look at what we're paying court-appointed attorneys. They feel like we need to up that salary some, and the court's aware of that, and we'll look at that at budget time and see where we are with that. But they just feel like if they're going to have that caseload to carry anyway, we may as well start making it more worth their time in terms of what they get paid compared to what they can make on the outside in their private practice.
Definitely. Are you able to share kind of the financials of what is a court-appointed attorney making now, and where's that wiggle room with the taxpayers?
Sure. The district judges set the rate of pay for court-appointed attorneys, and right now it ranges, I think, from about $75, I think, up to probably up to $150 or so an hour. So, and that depends on how long the cases are and things such as that. Again, these are court-appointed attorneys, and there are in some cases in some of these trials where they would be making more than that per hour because of the nature of the work provided and what they have to do. If it's a jury trial, for example, they can compensate them higher than that. We do have a lot of disparity between the different courts. I shouldn't say a lot of disparity. We have one court in particular, the family court, which does tend to pay its ad litem's more than what the other courts do, and to help try to offset some of that and get some of that those other courts getting some of these court-appointed attorneys, they're looking at making adjustments in that cost upward. But at the end of the day, it all revolves back around to money.
So it's not just family law that's being affected.
Oh, no,
it's criminal. It's multiple layers.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
So what is your encouragement to attorneys in the area, in the big country? Maybe they are having to take a step from their practice to serve. What do you have to say to those attorneys?
Well, I don't know what I can say to them. I mean, you know what the world is, and this is the reality of where we live. I wish I could say that litigation was going down. The numbers are going down, but they're not. They're going up. I wish I could say that fewer people are breaking the law, but they're not. Wish I could say that we had less of a drug problem than we do, but we don't. I mean, this is the reality of where we are and the times that we live in. And we're just going to have to make the big do with the best of what we got. But I understand the attorney ad litem. I have no idea why they can handle the case they do, because it's amazing. They will work in our courts here, and we've got 15 courts in this county, okay? So there's 15 different courts they may be called in to serve and to work. But other counties have courts too, and I know some of our attorneys go to Sweetwater, some of them go to Callahan County, some of them go to the surrounding counties and take care of cases there too, because they're also facing shortages of court-appointed attorneys. And in terms of the court-appointed attorneys, I will tell you we always need more attorneys, and folks are thinking about moving in that regard. It's a good profession, I think. There's certainly going to be demand for attorneys as we move forward. Now, where we're going to get them, I don't know, but the big danger is always that it becomes a bidding war you get into with somebody who, if they say, hey, I can make 3 times what they pay in Taylor County, if I go to Callahan County or go to Fisher County or Wichita County, I can make 3 or 4 times what I make here. So after a while, it sort of determines, gets to be like a bidding war to see if you can get those attorneys and draw them in here. So we want our pay to be commensurate with what it costs to run those positions and have the return, but it is very challenging work, and those attorneys work very, very hard.
Definitely. Is there any other information you could provide us with that you think that citizens need to know about this shortage and how it could potentially impact their family?
Well, I think a good indication of what's going on out there is you look at the bottom line, our budget, and for court-appointed attorney costs, that is a number we are perpetually chasing every year. We make a guesstimate on what we have this year in terms of what we're going to see for the coming year, and we try to make a guess for our budget purposes about what that's going to cost. Now, 5 years ago, we were paying in the neighborhood of a little over about $2.5 million for court-appointed attorneys. This year, we paid $4.5 million. So we're thinking next year, if this trend continues, we may be looking at $5 to $6 million of dollars to pay court-appointed attorneys.
Wow.
So that is what it is, and the citizens need to know that and understand that as we go through this process, that the legal system has certain guarantees that go into it in terms of representation and who's entitled to have an attorney and things such as that. And we do have to meet that obligation.
And when we come back here on Big Country Politics, a conversation with Thai Police Chief Jay Strong. We're back in 2 minutes.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
Earlier this month, there was a fatal accident on I-20 involving young students from Trent. Thai Police Department responded. Later, they posted a picture on Facebook with the caption, "Some days this badge is so heavy we can barely pick it up." So I sat down with Police Chief Jay Strong to talk about what kind of weight responding to tragic accidents actually carries.
Well, people who are sitting on the sidelines might, be able to say, well, I would have done this. Well, when you're out there and you have cars rushing down the interstate and you're laying face down in a vehicle trying to free somebody, but the traffic's still coming, you don't have time to second guess yourself. You have to take action, and you better be prepared for what that action is. And the one thing I could tell you is that our deputies, my officers, and our fire department and our EMTs, this community is so blessed to have them, because when they're asked, they do, and they go above and beyond. When they're not, asked to do something, they're still putting their life on the line. And when you're sitting on an interstate that has 15,000 cars a day come down it, and you're laying in a car, you're trusting your fellow officers and EMTs. Please hold that traffic. Please, just let me get through this. And sometimes you don't even realize it till it's over with, what you've just been through or what you've done, and then it sinks in, and what we see, we still have to talk about too. We just talk about it to each other. We talk about it to make sure that we're okay, because it's hard. It is hard to take those things home and act like nothing happened that day. It's extremely tough, and that's, I think, what led to this. Is if you talk to any officer in this county, APD, DPS, the Sheriff's Department, Merkel, us, sometimes that's a heavy load to take on. And one of the things that I always consider is, whether it be an accident, small town or big town, is when I go to bed at night, I worry about the people I have out on shift. What am I asking them to do? Are they okay? And it's always kind of like being a dad. You always call, hey, are you okay? Everything okay tonight? You just need to kind of know that so you sleep good. Everybody has demons. Ours just know where they live. And that's a tough thing. It's hard on families. It's hard on young officers. It's something you don't go away, something you don't forget. But what you hope is that you've gave it your best. You've done everything you could. And, at the end of the day, you could say, hey, we made a difference. And I think that we make a difference every day. I think that there was in some of the accidents I worked, there was a young deputy, a young officer. Brooklyn Kennedy was one of them. A young deputy and a young officer. I've been around this. I was in the military. Everything we asked them to do, they did, and they did it flawlessly. Treating for shock and treating the injuries and keeping the person coherent in their mind off of what's in front of them. They did outstanding. Everybody can't do this, and some people it takes a heavy toll. And I think that people forget what all we go through, or what a police officer or a deputy or a trooper goes through just in one day. People want to make it out that the police aren't here to help. Well, that's the biggest lie that could be put forth today. I don't know anybody that's ever came into this job not to help people. That's our goal. If not, we are always 99% of the time first on scene. And it will weigh on you. And if you don't have a support system, and if you don't have a peer-to-peer, it's going to weigh on you in a negative light. And in a community our size, when you ask the question about responding, and it's hard when you know those people. It's hard when you look into their face. It's hard when you have to tell their family they lost a loved one. It's not something we take lightly. I will be dead honest with you. I think that you're okay. Yeah, I shed tears. I cry just like the next person, because if you don't, it's going to get you. And we do hot washes after things like that, to where we talk about what we did good, what we could do better, and we hope that when you get there, your training kicks in, and everything that you do, treating for shock, applying tourniquets, stop the bleeding, all those things, landing a helicopter, all those things come in, and you don't have the time to analyze it, until afterwards, and the decisions you make are right then and there. I mean, there's no easy way to put that. Someone's life's on the line, and you're responsible for that. And I think that when, at the end of the day, when you look at it, you have to look at yourself and say, did I do everything I could humanly possibly do? And the answer is pretty much yes. We did everything possible to save that person's life, or to make sure that person got the best treatment. And it's not just us. It's troopers, it's DP, it's the sheriff's department, it's APD. It's not the size of the community, it's the size of the heart in the officer. And I think that's huge. But I think people forget that we're human, and some days I look at the amount of responsibility that these folks take on, and as long as I've been doing this, and I say, why do they continue? And they continue because it's who they are. They are true American heroes that people don't want to see. But who else is going to do it? Who else is going to come to that call? Who's going to be able to take that baggage with them? These are the folks that have stepped up, and they do an outstanding job. Whether you're in a big city or a small town, it still waits on you, whether you know that person or not. It's harder when you know them. It's harder when you know their family. It's harder when you know their kids. But your goal is always to never lose. And that's why we're all pretty much type A personalities. We hate to lose. So when you do everything that that you're taught to do, and that's right, and you do lose, you don't forget it. You never forget it. And I think if you do forget it, you don't get better. So you look at it and try to do what you can. The biggest thing is this little thing here is very light. At the most it probably weighs 7 ounces at the most, depending on who makes it. But there's days that you pick it up and you have the weight of a whole community on your back. You have the weight of everybody looking for you for answers. Sometimes you have the weight of the whole country on your back. And it seems to be heavier lately than at any time. And one of the things that Officer Kennedy said that is so beautiful is, today I could give my life for someone else. I don't know many professions where people will say that. I don't know where many professions, except for the armed forces and policing, where people are willing to do that. You know, and that's, out of tragedy comes beauty. When I see a tragic accident, I see Deputy Rodella, Officer Kennedy, Sergeant First Class Donahue, laying on a busy highway, treating their fellow human beings, willing to give it their all to take care of others. There's beauty in that tragedy. And I have to remember what that beauty is. But when you pick this up the next day and put it on, you say a prayer, I hope I don't have to see that again. That weight is always going to be upon you. And if you don't have somebody to talk to, that weight is going to just overbear you. And, you know, to be honest, our country's got away from the respect for the police. Sometimes we deserve that negativity, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know any who don't do this to help people. Zero. I don't know any who don't take a loss personally. I don't know anybody in this accident that didn't grieve, that didn't shed a tear, that didn't hug each other and say thank you. I mean, every time someone loses their life, it's tragedy. But when you sit back from where I sit and you see people willing to give their life to help another human being, there's beauty in that tragedy. But when you got to pick this back up and do it again, it's a heavy, heavy burden to think that someone else's life depends on you. It's a heavy burden to think that her life depends on me. It's a heavy burden to know that she came to work today knowing that this could be her last. There's everybody out patrolling the streets, from deputies to PD to troopers to all over this country. You know, thousands of people picked up that badge today with knowing what they could sacrifice to come to work. It's bigger than a paycheck.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
Well, that does it for this week's edition of Big Country Politics. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. For the latest political headlines, always go to bigcountryhomepage.com. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Thanks for watching.